of that, you keep sending us silly emails about how well this whole APTR Common Core thing is going. It isn't going well at all, Dr. King. My sister-in-law has first graders going home crying on the first day of school because she cannot explain and convince them that their pre-tests don't count. They only know they fail. What a great way to begin love for education. My high school students know that their pre-tests don't matter. So what growth is being measured? Not mine, not theirs. When I received my highly effective teacher rating, I threw it in the trash because that's what it was. It measured nothing. It's a silly, silly game we're playing. And the presumptuousness of your asserting again and again that you're somehow the expert in these matters, that you somehow know what's better for our kids, and all these dedicated professionals who endeavor day in and day out to help their students evolve, that audacity reveals in you a level of arrogance and ignorance that is truly unfathomable. My physician said it very succinctly to me this week. He said, teachers have absolute responsibility, absolute accountability, and absolutely no authority. We're here tonight to take our voices back. You know what I believe, Dr. King? I believe that we sat down to draft these reforms, that they did indeed look good on paper. And so did communism. And much like communism, our administrators are falling in line like dutiful soldiers, not because they embrace your ideology, but because they're being held hostage by the state, being told that their schools will not be funded if they don't make the grade and get on board. Is that how we want our schools running? Under duress, under the threat of coercion. You know what else I believe? I believe that everyone in this room will forgive you if you just come clean and admit that you have made an error of infinite proportion. Please don't placate us tonight. Please act on what you're hearing and let us get back to nurturing the intellects, the psyches, and the souls of the young people we've been called to serve. Thank you.
My name is Linda Orion. I'm a proud teacher of Binghamton City School District. I'm a special ed consultant teacher, third grade at Woodrow Wilson School. And a proud mother of a teacher, second generation teacher in Binghamton. That's just embarrassing. My comments are not just to Commissioner King, it's the whole panel. I'm a newly elected first year rookie president of the Binghamton Teachers Association. Process. I have consoled members who have been deemed ineffective due to growth scores. It has been a humbling experience. For exemplary, creative, dedicated, and loving teachers to be reduced to this characterization. It's a shame. It hits them where it hurts the most. They teach here with their heart, and they lead with their heart, and I truly believe it. In light of the admission that students would not be doing well in the new test and not do as well as in previous years, I would plead with you all, because you all can play a part, to support and join NYSU and support the 3-year moratorium on test scores. Please join us and make it right.
My name is Marie Futterman. I'm the art teacher here at West Middle School. West faculty around the edges of the auditorium tonight are wearing blue gloves that stand for the mourning and sadness from the quality of education that we have lost in the last couple of years. We also have pictures of the children because they are the ones that count. When the students graduate, what do we want them to be able to do? Do we want them to be well-rounded, creative, self-motivated learners? Or do we want them more interested in creating test takers who can recite word for word something that may or may not even make sense to them? These are my kids. And I want them to be more than test takers.
and now consultant to individuals, families, and businesses related to self-awareness, personality types, and learning styles. What does my business have to do with Common Core and New York's implementation of it? Everything opposite. Common Core and the people behind it have no interest in children, learning styles, or the future success of individuals. The basis of Common Core robotically teaches children what to think, not how to think. Contrary to what is being told to the American people, it is not internationally benchmarked, globally competitive, research-based, and state-led. American citizens need to do their own homework to fully understand how Common Core came about and why many states at this time have pending legislation, including New York State, to get out of it. I'm greatly concerned about the state's need to push through curriculum modules with little regard to children and their development. Learning is developmental. Children need to be cognitively ready, and curriculum needs to be age appropriate. What I am seeing is far from appropriate or child-based. There appears to be a high level of anxiety from the state on down to the students. It is inexcusable to see the field of education focusing most of their time, finances, and energy on collecting test scores, data, and record keeping at the expense of teachers' time teaching and students' time learning. It is obvious the people responsible for writing the curriculum and assessments have not spent any extended or meaningful amount of time looking into the eyes of children. These individuals clearly forgot to answer the question, how does this benefit children? It is beyond frustrating to watch the state of education equate a child's worth and now a teacher's worth with a number. New York State education's curriculum and assessments rob the joy of learning from students. The goal in parenting, teaching, guiding our children is to help them become lifelong learners, problem solvers, creative thinkers, freedom to be mistake makers, accountable, responsible, honest, and kind. What is the solution? Not only do we need to slow down with a 3-year moratorium and stop the over-testing of our children by opting out as parents, but it is time for a new way of leading and educating our children based on their needs, not the needs of private philanthropists, self-serving politicians, or publishing companies. Therefore, one sentence. Therefore, John King, Andrew Cuomo, Arnie Duncan, David Coleman, Merle Tisch, Bill Gates, to name a few, you must go. It's time to step down, resign, get out, or not about children. As parents and educators, we have enough. Will the real leaders of honesty and integrity in our communities, district, state, and nation? Please stand up.
I'm sorry, that's more than one sentence. I want to remind everybody also to identify yourself and also let us know what school district you are from. And I think we have a little girl over here that wants to take a chance.
Hello, my name is Bailey Fetterman, and I'm from Schlegel Forest. I was like Common Core because the other day I did 22 pages for math. That's way too much. And my mom had to help me, and she didn't even get the problems. Learning should be fun for everyone, not just a couple people.
Sir?
Yes, my name is David Boston. I'm a teacher at Union City School District, and also I'm a parent of a child in the Union City School District. I'm really glad we started with the pledge, because it's important to remember that however civil we want to be, this is the country that's based on discussion and dissension. Dr. King, a couple of times you talked about the success of the Common Core. I don't give a hoot about the success of the Common Core. I'm talking about the children. If the government gets involved in education, from Pleasant versus Services to NCLB, it's a disaster. The government has to resort to bribery and states to get on board with this because education is not a race. There's nothing common about teaching 100 students every day with a mind on their hearts as well as on their minds. Teaching is a great job. It's a blessing to live a life of the mind. I've been given a 500-page manual to teach a 200-page book. And however this is January now, we were directed that this module was to be our compass. Now we say, you are not to adopt, you are to adapt. And you test our children children with the intent of having 30 or 40% more fail than have ever failed before, while demanding standards for the school district that have never been achieved. So I have nothing to say to this community. I have to say this to the parents. They are coming for your children. They are cutting budgets to pay for high-paced testing, to regiment education in ways that can only be described as diabolical. They are dictating to your children how far they can go, how much imagination they can have, art, music. They want your children to have the education they can afford, but not the education that they have. This is about your children. I want to end with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi, who started out in government and ended up as a teacher. No matter how far down the wrong road you go, turn back. Don't let this be the end of the protest. Let this be the start. Thank you very much.
My name is Matthew Douglas. I'm speaking on behalf of my son, Corey Veteran. These are his words. Many things that we taught in Common Core are frustrating and confusing because we are being taught the same way our parents were. We're frustrated because they run homework every day, and my parents can't help me because the lessons have to be done just the way my teacher shows me. We're actually going to go back to our seats right now and finish this one.
I'm Jackie Coleman, Binghamton School District third grade teacher, also the mother of two children that went through the district. The objective that I would like to convey to the family is it's too much too soon. I personally do not have anything against the Common Core. I understand that our test scores need to increase. We have a rather high poverty rate in our district, and there are issues, and we have to do something. So we really didn't have a choice as much in our district. We had to adopt the modules. My problem with the modules was the implementation of the Common Core. That's my problem. Every day it's come in, and I feel like all my time is spent, this has been conveyed to other people, not being creative, not making Jeopardy games, not doing baking projects where we teach fractions and recipes, just doing just very mundane things that don't mean as much to the kids. If the kids don't want to come to school, it doesn't matter what we teach. If they're not there, they're making excuses because it's not like it used to be. There's a problem, and I personally feel that the lack of scaffolding on the state's part was very confusing to the teachers. We totally felt to start kindergarten, year 1, year 2, K1, and so on. And not to have done that has let our children slip through the cracks that are administrative. It's very, it's very troubling to us to see that happen. Our current 5th graders have had 3 different math programs since they've come to the system. K through 5, 3 different math programs, and many of them has trickled down from the state. I guess in conclusion, I'd just like to say that some of the kids don't even know what they're missing. They're just products of the new teaching methods, and some of us just are very sad about that, because although we're accountable, we make the total line, it's kind of how we're doing it as a problem for the teachers. I would just say, just slow down a little bit and do it right.
Thank you.
My name is Joe Zager. I'm a teacher here at West Middle School. And before I start, Danny Janos, I have your wallet. I'll be in my room at the end of the tomorrow. There are right now tens of thousands of people across New York State who disagree with the current educational climate in one of the largest, if not the largest, public outcry against educational policies in our state's history, and nothing is being done. I see the frustration, the apathy, the rote testing, hollowness in the eyes of my own students, and it's unconscionable that nothing is being done. Parents are frustrated, many of whom aren't even able to help their children with their homework. This ensures that the haves will continue exceeding, and the have-nots will fall even farther behind. And despite their surface support of state-passed decrees, I believe that even our administrators, in their hearts, know that things are really not working. Yet they find themselves silenced and tied down by the requirements of their jobs and the burdensome link between test scores and their district's rating. These tens of thousands of people across the state have one message for you. Please stop causing this suffering. Little consolation prizes like the ones thrown out in the past couple months are barely even a band-aid on the gaping wounds that need to be addressed. It seems by your actions that you aren't even listening. That like a little child, you have your eyes shut tight, your head bowed, and your fingers in your ears chanting, Pearson, 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 just to avoid the truths of the situation that you're causing. If you truly are hearing our voices, let it show in your actions. As one who is affected by your decisions, as one who sees firsthand the effects on our children, as one who has seen the tears and the anger and the frustration and the disillusionment in both adults and children, I can tell you from the trenches, this war is hell. And it is both teachers and students who are among the ever-growing pile of casualties. Please help us so that we can look our children in the eyes and say truthfully that we are giving them the best education that we possibly can. Because right now, if I said that to a child, I would be lying.
I stand here tonight with some simple questions. When did it become acceptable that children be no longer treated as human beings but as swords and bad ones? I teach kindergarten. 21 little 4 and 5-year-olds. 4 and 5-year-olds that in the first 6 weeks of school took 9 different assessments. 4 and 5-year-olds, some of whom have never been away from their mother. Some of whom don't preschool, some that didn't know what letter was or even how to hold a pencil. 4 and 5-year-olds who are expected to take a written assessment so that we can measure their growth. 4 and 5-year-olds who were in tears and kept saying, I don't know how to read and write, I can't do this. And for what? To judge how effective I am as a teacher? What is the point of constantly gathering data on student growth when I barely have time to teach them what they need to grow academically? Do these assessments show you the time I've spent solving classroom problems and teaching children how to solve their own? Does it show you how much time and energy I have put into making sure my students love and enjoy learning? Does it show you the excitement on a child's face when they are finally able to recognize every letter of the alphabet or write their name for the very first time? Does it show you how children learn to behave in a socially acceptable way and strive to do good? I'll answer that for you. No, it does not. I'll end with one last question. When did you lose sight of what education is really all about?
I'm speaking as chief as parent. I'm a mother of 2 children who have gone through the Binghamton public schools, one is still in. My husband and I made a conscious decision to send our kids to public school and to teach in public university and schools here in Binghamton for more than 30 years. Education is right at the center of our lives. My issue with Common Core is that it doesn't focus on the real problems or the real needs in education. It's just this year's version of No Child Left Behind, Race to the Top. It's a top-down, governmental, one-size-fits-all program that tries to micromanage and hamstring our teachers, and it's intimately tied to all the new teacher assessments and state testing that benefits no one but Pearsons and Bill Gates. We know we have trouble in our schools, but the problem isn't with the teachers. We're blessed with excellent teachers here as in towns all over the United States. It's criminal to make them feel this isn't true. We do badly on some tests around here. That comes from deep-rooted problems of socioeconomics and culture that no one knows how to manage or talk about. It comes from kids with real disabilities and children who bounce from school to school and parents too busy or exhausted or distracted to do everything that's needed to keep your kids on track. We do need help. We need a fair distribution of education funding in the state, which is long overdue. We need reading teachers and full-time librarians. We need smaller classes, new equipment, thriving, fully funded programs for the arts and technical training schools for those kids who need to succeed at something other than academics. We need some grants for our children's differences and interests and abilities and honor the fact that each child is gifted in his or her own way. We trust our teachers to test our children
and art are only taught once every 6 school days, if we're lucky. Sometimes parent conferences or a snow day, half a snow day, or assembly, any number of things, fire drill, can make it so we don't lose our class that particular day. I've been known to go an entire month without teaching a class. Now on top of that, I have to take away a class at the beginning of the year for a student learning objective, including to kindergartners, as she was pointing out, on their very first ever music class, an introduction to music, being given a test that we expect them to fail. Another test, a slow test at the end of the year. Now we're also expected 4 quarterly assessments on top of that. And then the few classes that we have remaining, we're expected to do close reads, put more math, put more music, put more math, put more English language arts. We're supposed to give them practice tests in preparation for the SLOs at the end of the year. At this point, very little music is going on in the few music classes that we have. And I really think that this current system is attacking music education. And it's been shown that music education at an elementary level affects children's brain development in a way that helps them with standardized testing. If anything, to help these kids with standardized testing, you should have more music, not less. Reading about music, writing about music, doing music. They're little kids in elementary school. They should be singing, playing some drums, keeping a beat, having some music fun, instead of reading, writing, and doing tests. Thank you.
My name is Caroline Coda. I'm a parent, a teacher educator at Binghamton in Portland, and a teacher with more than 20 years of experience in the Windsor District alone. Parents, teachers, and children abused by waiver testing that companies Common Core want an answer to the same question I asked last May in Geneva Bridge. It's not a complicated question. What would it take to get New York State to step away from Common Core, to step away from Race to the Top and the piddling money that it brought, to step away from corporate control of teachers' professional judgments and duties, and return state and local control of our school districts to us? How many emails would it take? How many petitions? How many letters, tweets, or faxes? We'll put them together. How many demonstrations? And probably most importantly, how much money would it take for our state to step away from Common Core?
My name is Beth Ryder. I'm the PTA president and mom of 3 children at FP Donnelly Elementary School, part of the Susquehanna Valley School District. My 11-year-old daughter just completed a reading assignment about a 15-year-old pregnant teen that wished for her baby to die. Her choices were abortion, adoption, or eating her baby alive. She wished every day for a miscarriage. In the end, the wise old woman in the garden convinced her that her pregnancy was not a disgrace, rather an honor, and she no longer wished for her The older children don't have the building blocks underneath them to successfully master what you are asking of them. I believe in parts of the program, I just believe you have rushed the implementation. The part I most upset about, Dr. King, is that it feels like you are holding our children hostage, dangling state aid in front of our schools and threatening our music and sports programs unless we teach the way you say we should teach is model mentality. Forcing your agenda on people who don't want it, your refusal to listen to others, and your refusal to compromise is pure thuggery. And one last sentence. My family's evenings are no longer filled with family time. It's filled with homework, frustration, and a lot of tears. And that goes to my children too.
My name is Erin Osborne. I'm a parent and a teacher of student services in Binghamton. There's a saying I'm sure we're all familiar with. Those who can do, those who can't teach. But there's a similar saying I've grown quite fond of. Those who can teach, those who can't pass laws about teaching. Now, I'm not a parent or I'm not a teacher, but I am the daughter and granddaughter of teachers. You can call it the family business. I am an education writer and teacher advocate. And for my latest book, I spent last year interviewing hundreds of teachers across the United States and have to share their experiences with those who have no idea what is happening in our schools today. I wasn't looking for it at the time, but a pattern quickly emerged. Teachers are exhausted, they are frustrated, and they are largely unsupportive of Common Core standards. They resent being a part of an education reform like No Child Left Behind preceded it, that they feel is causing more harm than good. When you have seated these town halls, Mr. Commissioner, it's the result of not including people who matter in the decision-making process. How can you expect to implement anything without teachers being on board? I have studied the standards, and since I lack classroom experience and training, I will refrain from discussing their merits or shortcomings, something that I think education reformers should try doing from time to time. I do feel that at its heart, Common Core is not education reform. It is a political tool wielded by corporate sponsors. The Gates Foundation, the Broad Foundation, and the creators of Walmart have as much classroom experience as I do. Yet because of their substantial wealth, they are able to shape education policy that affects millions. Our education system is dysfunctional at best, and Common Core is merely a symptom. In case in point, the U.S. Secretary of Education has never worked as a teacher or an administrator. Commissioner, you have been the target of a lot of anger and frustration during these town hall meetings. These are not isolated incidents orchestrated by special interest groups. The teachers and parents I've spoken to are upset, and you can see the passion in the crowd here tonight. But I find myself strangely calm. I am calm because I can feel the tide turning. We may not have been asked for our input when Common Core was created, but you're certainly hearing our opinions now. Being that it is only a few days before Thanksgiving, I thought it appropriate that I take a moment to give thanks. I am thankful for the concerned parents and teachers who are here right now. I am thankful that I was educated in an era before all this nonsense, a time when teachers were trusted to teach. And if I am able to correctly read the writing on the wall, I am thankful that Common Core is pushing a good way of No Child Left Behind.
Thank all of you for your comments so far. And Commissioner King is now going to take a few minutes to address those first 15 comments.
First, thank you for sharing your comments and concerns. And I certainly do your